Good morning, good morning, and good morning. So, welcome back, and hopefully, everybody's doing very well today or this morning. Today, I want to talk about family issues. Family issues, especially black families, have been separated for some time now, especially since uh, the destruction of the Panther Party. That was probably the only movie that we really had to keep us together and to support us because nobody really loves us and nobody really supports us. That's nothing new. But today, I want to talk about some of these family issues and what's going on today with a lot of our family members and people just struggling, people just turning their backs. What's going on? This is a lot. It's a lot. But we're going to cover all this. Today we're going to talk about a whole lot today. Talk about this family stuff going on. When it comes to, we all start out with a set of parents, a mother and a father. Now it takes two, the mother and the father, to have that family. Now I'm not talking about artificial insemination or any of that kind of stuff, and I'm not talking about relationship-wise as far as same-sex parenting. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about specifically is what it takes to make a child. Okay, so let's start off by talking about this here. You got your father's side, okay, and then you got your mother's side, okay. So your mother comes from some place and your father comes from some place. They both have a mother and father as well. Now, after that, you got your siblings. And before I even get to go to the siblings, let me just start out by talking about the parents. When we're talking about an ideal situation or ideal parents, we're talking about two parents who are together, who have a child, who loves their child, who takes care, who loves and pays attention to their children, and they're active in their children's lives. Start out by feeding, holding, changing diapers and stuff like that. And I want to make sure that I kind of dive into the parenting for a minute because I want people to understand where I'm coming from with this. When it comes to parenting, nobody comes here with instructions. As parents, when we carry our mothers, we carry our children, but there are no instructions. There's no treat this child a certain way or there's nothing to guide you. Nothing. The only thing they give you at the hospital, well, you learn this before you go into the hospital a lot of times, is how to feed a child, what to give them. And parenting, for the most part, it takes a lot. All starting from the heart. That love, that care, that carefulness, that looking at somebody that you help create. You understand what I'm saying? That little person that comes out looking just like you. The husband or the wife, maybe even sometimes, well, a lot of times, the child comes out looking like the parents, one of the parents on one of the side. and even or the siblings. Oh yeah, it runs deep. Now, as a mother myself, I can tell you that I love my children. I love the the children. I love my kids. Carrying a child is a very special thing. It's when a child is growing inside of you, there's a special connection that you get. And I think when you learn how to sing and talk to your child, you have a better relationship. The child can come out, knowing you a whole lot more. No matter what, that child is going to come out and have your attitude. It's going to know your voice and everything. So you have that connection. And a lot of times that connection with your own child helps you to be able to relate to other children and help you see other children in a different manner. Because when you have a child, you don't want to see another child suffer. You just don't. As a matter of fact, you're more likely to express love for another child. That's not even yours. That's just parenting, okay? Now, there are situations where us parents, we get we have issues with our kids, mainly starting at puberty. That's when they start smelling themselves. That's what our parents used to say. Oh, you must be smelling yourself. When they start thinking on their own and start having a say-so. And it can become, when they start wanting to do different things. For instance, they want to do what they see other kids do. Now, in our households, usually we decide as parents how we want to run our household and what kind of environment we want for our children and ourselves, And a lot of times we think and we know pretty much we want to love our child no matter what. You know how it starts off. Oh, we're gonna have this child and we're gonna name it such and such, and we're gonna be different with our kids. We're gonna raise our kids. We're gonna read to them every day. We're gonna sing to them and all this stuff or whatever. And we're gonna feed them at certain times. A lot of us, we really think that, you know what I'm saying? Until the child gets here. And then you start to realize, oh, okay. Everything, you just have to figure it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But the main idea of me bringing up parenting and talk about parenting is to express and to help you better understand what a parent goes through when they're having that child. Okay? The love and affection of a parent. That love. A lot of us don't appreciate that. We don't appreciate our parents. And I think mainly because we have this thing where we want to do things on our own at some certain time, and we don't want to be told what to do. And that can become a challenge with a kid, with a parent, because we take so much time, we spend so much time planning for our children. We do. Every little aspect. We want to make sure we dress them. We want to make them all cute when comb their hair and all that little stuff, So we have all these different plans that we have. So when a child grows up and they reach that puberty age and they start coming up with these things, thinking that they want to do things on their own, and they don't want to do what you want them to do or whatever. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it could be a problem. Here's why, or here's how. Because a lot of times when the child is coming up, they don't really know what they want to do. So they'll see some things and see other people doing some things that might get themselves involved in stuff that they don't really yet understand. But before you know it, might get caught up. It could be the fun, how it looks so fun and it's different, and it's not what your parents is telling you to do. I don't know. But The problem for the parents is it's hard. We have to sit back and we have to watch our children go through all these things, all these making these decisions a lot of times that we don't approve of. But we have to sit back a lot of times and we have to just have faith and just see how this plays out. Now, that's not to say that you don't talk to your children and you don't chastise your children or you don't punish your children or discipline your children. My parenting style, I believe in discipline. I believe in discipline. I believe that, you should discipline your children, not abuse. Discipline, which means correct. Okay. And a lot of times when you trying to discipline your kids, you don't know what you're going to have to deal with. You don't know, you know, sometimes your child can come at you and say something real smart and make you want to just knock something up out of them. Is that okay? No. No, that's better. That's a good time to walk yourself away and realize how much you love this child and try to figure out how you're going to correct. Now, a lot of people don't believe in hitting their children or whatever. I believe that sometimes it's necessary to snatch somebody up, snatch them, get their attention. There was a video on Facebook not long ago, and it was a father, and he was telling his son something to do. The son, if I'm not mistaken, I think the son was he was touching the stove. The father said, "Don't touch the stove. You can get burned." Said it real nice and calm a couple of times. And then he had to, "Don't touch the goddamn," you know what I'm saying? He had to go off. And then the child, then he that caught his attention and that made him stop. By that time, the parent is like, I mean, that's an anxiety moment right there. Like, for real. You see your child running into danger. You trying to tell them or warn them, and they're not listening. They're not even paying you no mind. So you have to yell sometimes. You have to be strong. Yes, you do. And anybody who says something different, that's not, I don't even pay them folks no attention, because in my eyes, I think what I see is you don't give a damn about that child. If you do not take the time out to discipline your child, to me, in my eyes, that means you don't care. You do not care. When you do care, you make sure that you are in your child's ear, okay? And helping them and guiding them and making sure they're doing everything possible that they're supposed to be doing, okay? Yeah. Hey, don't go near the stove. Get away from that stove. It's hot, okay? Don't touch that fire. It's hot. You'll get burned, okay? Be careful about that water. Test the water first to see if it's hot or if it's good enough. If it's too hot, it'll burn you. Be careful, okay? Do not run out into that street. Wait. Look both ways. And make sure everything is clear before you cross that street. That's what a loving parent does. That's what we do. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Be respectful. Be respectful. Respect your elders. When there's an elder, a person who is your elder, when your elderly person is present, you be respectful. That's what us parents, that's what we do. We tell our children, we teach our children, we guide our children. Okay? So when they make a mistake, we guide them back the right way. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Is it easy? No. It's not always easy. We don't know what's going through our child's mind sometimes. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know if they're being influenced by some outside sources. We don't know. Okay? Now, the environment that your child is coming up in and that you create for your children, that's important. I don't care what you're talking about, what you're going through, or what somebody else say. It's very important what's going on in your household around your children. Okay. It's important who you let around your kids. Not everybody has good intentions. You might have somebody who's looking at your children, at your child or children, in a sexual manner. And they waiting for the best opportune time to get to that child. You don't know. We call them predators. That's real talk. And there's a lot of situations that can lead to that kind of stuff. But for the most part, when you're a parent, you want to control those types of environments. Watch who's around your kids. I'm not saying that you can't trust everybody, but you better be careful and you better pay attention. You better pay attention. Now, when it comes to having parties and drinking and smoking and all that old kind of stuff or whatever in your household around your kids, hey, I'm going to say this here. Do you. Do what you do. Do what you do. All I want you to do is think about this. You said in the beginning when you had that child, before you guys had the child, that you guys cared. So are you going to be, shouldn't you be careful about what goes on around their child? What's real is, whether it's in the home or outside the home, your child is going to see things. They're going to be exposed whether you like it or not. When they go to school, they're going to be exposed to a lot of things. They might not know how to process it, but they're going to be exposed to a lot. Okay? So if you don't talk to them at home and teach them at home, I mean, you're really setting yourself up. Especially if you're not paying attention to the environment. Do what you do. Handle your business. Party on. But if you have children, you probably should make sure that they're safe and they're okay while you're having fun. Me personally, I think that it's okay to let your kids see that it's okay to drink. As a matter of fact, I do believe that they should have their first drink at a young age. Why? And with the family. Because I think that kids need to know what alcohol is and how much they should be drinking. Now, you control that. Here's how. They should every child should know what liquor tastes like. They're not gonna like it. They're not gonna like it. The kids do not like liquor from the beginning. They don't. But if you keep trying to take it away from them, somebody will try to give it to them. And once the child is drunk or whatever, or under the influence of something, they can do whatever they want. That's not something that you want. So why not take the time and let your child know what it's like what the liquor tastes like, and let them know this is a no-no. This is not what you drink. This is grown folk stuff. And you stay away from this. Does it work? Oh yeah, it sure does. So yeah, you should be involved in your child's life, and you should be on it when it comes to who's in your child's life, who's coming into your house, what they doing. I don't care what you do. Just watch yourself around mature. Like for real, for real. Don't care if you drink. My kids, I know that I talk to my kids. Talk to them and I let them know, and I already so you don't have to come around here like creeping around trying to find out how dumb they are, how ill-informed they are, so you can take advantage of them. You ain't got to worry about that. Nope. Because I'm right there, baby, watching mine, because I love them, period. When it comes to sexual assault within the families and all that. You honestly, a child is not going to tell you and not going to let you know, mainly because they don't know what's going on. They don't understand. And then the embarrassment. Not only the embarrassment, then sometimes when you do tell, because you're a child, nobody's taking you serious. Nobody's really listening to you. So a lot of those things can take place, but you have to control the environment, and you need to be careful, and you have to monitor all the interactions of what goes on in your house. And it should be made clear from the beginning. As your child is growing up, you should be teaching them the things that are right, what's allowed and what's not. And to be honest with you, the only thing that's important is what is modeled in front of the child. Now, don't get it twisted. That does not mean that just because somebody does drugs in front of your child that they're going to do it. That does not mean that. That does not mean just because you drink that the child is going to drink. Does not mean that. That's not true at all. What it does mean is, for the most part, the parents are the models. That child is going to follow everything you do. On from that, how a child learns how to have an attitude and all that stuff or whatever. How do you think they learn all that? Where do you think they get that from? All their survival skills, everything comes from what's being modeled in front of them. Okay? So if the parents are acting violent and disrespectful, you can best believe that child is going to come up being disrespectful, ornery, and just whatever. You know, how you control that situation is you have to understand that what you do, your kids are going to follow you. So you have to be aware of how you control yourself and your temper. And you got to learn how to pick your battles, and you have to be careful to make sure that it's you picking your battles, not somebody else. Now, by that I mean, you know, if something is going off, say there's a fight going along, whatever. Usually a lot of those fights and disagreements, those happen in front of the kids from the parents. So that's where they first start learning, you know, fights and stuff and arguments and stuff like that or whatever. So at some point, you want to show your kids that you can control your temper. Well, you don't have to go off. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to be violent. You don't have to be disrespectful. But again, it's on you. You have to set up that environment for your child. You have to. You got to make all that, okay? And controlling your temper and stuff. I think that when you have kids, I think that's when you start to see things differently and start to pay attention to how you act. You know what I'm saying? Because see, everything you do, you are good. You can expect that at your child. Who else they gonna learn from? They're learning from you. How you act in public, how you conduct yourself in public. Because whatever you do, that's exactly what they're going to do. When you get the phone calls from that schoolhouse, oh, you know. Yeah, you know. When you get there, you know exactly what's going on. Those are your kids. You know them because you know yourself. I mean, you know, let's just be real. You know. Now, are your kids going to try you? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They're going to try you. What is a child if they're not trying? They're not learning anything. So you have to set those things up. Now, gossiping. Ooh, child. If you have that kind of stuff around your children where they always talking, where it's a lot of talking about folks and all that judging and putting down folks and all that or whatever, you best believe that that's exactly what your child's gonna do. Yeah, they hearing it and they're learning it, and that's, you can expect them to do that. Yeah, why not? That's what you're showing them. Okay. When it comes to both sides of the family, you know, your mother has a side of the family, your father has a side of the family. And most of the time, you guys get along. I mean, you know, everybody loves little kids. Love them. Respect them. That's my little niece, my nephew. Oh, yeah, we love them. Now, this is in good cases. And we have those ones who, we have some bad cases where the aunts, uncles, and they might not be so kind to your children, and for various amounts of reasons. I mean, that stuff can go kind of deep, but sometimes you get to some points where points in life where there's some siblings at each other, and they tend to take it out on the kids. The way they feel about the parent is the way they treat the kids, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So you have to be careful. Just because you love your siblings does not mean that they're going to treat your children right. It does not mean that at all. You don't know what's going on. Sometimes you have siblings that are jealous of you. They can't stand your ass. Like, let's just be real. They can't stand your little narrow ass, your little black ass. They don't like you. They can't stand you. And damn your kids too. That's just how they are. And you leave your kids alone with them for a long enough time, oh, you'll find out. Especially when they get older. If they can't get those kids to turn against you and feel about you the same way they feel about you, yeah, them kids will be shoved away too. Sometimes you can even get to the point to where, as a matter of fact, as soon as they can get either parent or both parents up out the way, you can see how they hone in on the kids. And it can be, it's not always a good thing. You got to watch out for folks that don't like you, and they'll try to take it out on the kids. You got to watch that, man. And you can't say it's not happening, because it does happen. And I'm talking about those cases which are bad. Now, there are some cases, don't get it twisted, where the families are really loving, and they accept each other, you know, and they love each other, and that goes for the kids and all that. I really like the closeness of some big families. I'm not saying that they don't have challenges, but for some reason they have a closer. For me, I think that there's a closer knit. There's a lot more that are just like you running around. So in a family of 10, let's say, you don't have to deal with just that one. But you have a whole bunch of other ones that you can go to. You understand what I'm saying? So it'd probably be a little bit easier. Now, in the worst case scenario, I mean, that could be a good thing, and it could also be a bad thing, because one of the family members could also influence other family members. So that can be a very bad thing too. I had a call where I was talking to a family member about families, and I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was happening, but I saw it. Not only did, I mean, I had a chance to see it with my own eyes and experience it. So it hurt, but I understood. Sometimes you can have family that'll influence the whole family. to hate you just as much as they hate you. They don't like your ass and they don't want nobody else to like you, so they're going to form up a whole damn thing to come against you. And it doesn't really matter what you did. If they don't like you, they just don't like you. And as far as calling out for help, yeah, whatever. It ain't going to happen. It's just not. Because they have already formed an opinion about you and already gathered up an army, and it's on and popping. So now we talking about when family members ganging up on you and stuff. You got, it could be behind jealousy. It could be some kind of a competition. I don't know where this comes from, but sometimes, you got that kind of family that they feel like they got to compete against you. It's like, what the hell is going on? We siblings, we supposed to be cool. We all we got. But you tripping? You trying to compete against me? I don't understand. We supposed to be together and you trying to, to me, that's separation. So, yeah. You got that older sibling versus the younger sibling ordeal kind of stuff going on. Now, I'm an older sibling, and I know a lot of older siblings as well. Not just older siblings, but the oldest. The oldest sibling is usually the one that the parents look to and groom to care for and take care of the rest of the kids, or to make sure that they're taken care of. Okay? So that oldest child is probably going to be the one who the parents are most harsh on. Very harsh. Everything is set up for that child to succeed and to be the most responsible. That oldest child, if you ever want to know anything about the parents, check out the oldest child. When you check out the oldest child, you'll get a very good picture of who those parents really were. It's real talk. 1 second. So yeah, you can get a very, very, very clear picture of who that mother is, how that mother is, and the father too. Even in situations where the parents are absent for whatever reasons, you still are way more likely to see exactly who, or get a good idea of who the mother and the father really is, or was, whatever the situation may be. But for the most part, for us parents, we raise our oldest kids to take care of everything. So we're very careful about that. It's just what we do, In a lot of cases where, and I want to speak specifically about our black families, because in our black families, the skin tones are likely to become, or they can be different. Okay, so let's say you got 3 kids. 2 of them come out light skinned like the parents, but then there's one that's darker. And we all know that in this world, especially today, well, from a long time, colorism and self-hatred has been a big thing. So where in a world where everything white is considered good and black is considered bad, or darker is considered bad, sometimes you can see in the families where the children who are lighter, of a lighter skin, are treated better than the ones who are of a darker skin. I don't think it's done purposely, but it does, and it will have an effect on that child. When your skin is darker, you tend to be less accepted in the world. and you probably have a harder time in life. The lighter skinned children will probably be more accepted. Now, this may not be your reality, but it is. It happens to be a reality. And when you start looking and thinking about colorism and self-hatred, this is exactly what you'll find. So sometimes the parents will treat the lighter children, again, better than the darker children. Now, that prodigal son and or daughter, those are those children that come up and they seem to do everything but what they were groomed and taught and modeled before to do. These are the ones that give you the most headache, the most problems. And these are the ones that you lose sleep over. These are the ones that you sit there and you build up the wealth and you have it all planned out. And they'll go out and give it away for free. Everything that you spent all that time building up. Yeah. It happens. And it's just, it is what it is. You know, the cold part is you actually have to sit there and you have to, as a parent, you gotta, you have to sit there and you have to go with the flow. You have to wait, and you have to just wait it out, and you have to just do what you can, and that's a hard thing to do. That's a very, very hard thing to do, is to watch your kids do some things that not only do you not approve, but it brings embarrassment. It can cause a lot of embarrassment for the parents and the whole family. Excuse me a minute. I forgot to send this live out. Okay. So now, if you get this, and you catch me online, if you can catch this live, that'll be cool. If you don't worry about it. You can always watch it later. That'll be fine. So, that prodigal son or prodigal daughter will go out there and mess up everything that you've built, and that's not a good thing. But like I said, you have to sit back and you have to watch it all, and you have to wait it out, and hope and pray that one day that they'll do what's right. Going through that process is not easy. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. To watch your child do some stuff that you did not raise them to do, that hurts. And then to go on and keep doing it, and then to mess up your wealth and all that, what you've been saving up for them. Oh no, baby. Now that can be behind a number of reasons. This is why I highly, highly suggest that you always teach your kids how to handle money how to manage money, the importance of money. As a matter of fact, when they start out in high school, they should be paying some bills in high school. And I said it exactly how I meant it. In high school, you start to learn how to take care of things and how to be responsible. And getting a job in high school is not a bad thing. And you don't necessarily have to have a well-paying job or whatever. You can have but you have to teach your kids responsibility and teach them the importance of money, savings, and stuff like that, or whatever. That's the only thing that you really can do. But if you leave it to the streets to raise them, then hey, it's whatever. Every child should know or the importance of making money, how to save, how to manage, and all that stuff, or whatever. So if you're teaching those kinds of things, that should help them. However, it doesn't always mean that just because you teach them, they're going to do that. You can teach them all day, and they go out there and still take the money and go try to double it and go do all kinds of unnecessary stuff. And you have to sit back and just watch and wait. Hopefully it don't get too bad to where you have to try to gain control over it or whatever. I don't know, whatever the situation is, but again, I do highly suggest that you train your kids at home, teach them importance of wealth and all that or whatever, and how to manage it. Now, stepchildren. For whatever reasons, a lot of us parents, we do take in other children. These children can come from, let's say, sometimes you have a friend and maybe they've passed away and the kids have nowhere else to go, so you take those kids in, okay? They're not yours, but you're going to treat them, as best as you can for as long as you can. A lot of times those are the godchildren. As parents, we have our best friends and stuff that are present usually when we get married or when we start having children. So we take on those people, and just in case something happens, we want those people to be the ones who take care of our children. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. In most ideal situations, they're very good situations because you have a person who really loves your child just the way they loved you. So they're going to make sure that they take care of your child like they take care of theirs, if not better. Now, that could cause a problem with siblings, with the other kids, because they see you getting all that treatment and they might get jealous. And that can just be all bad. Especially in situations where you want the child to understand and know that, you're there and you're always going to be there. Sometimes you have kids that come along and they want to mess that all up, and this ain't your mama and this ain't your daddy anyway. Super stuff. There are the situations where there are extramarital or children from extramarital affairs. Them affairs where, either the mother or father goes out and mess around and there's a child. Well, the father, for the most part, goes out and has another child by another woman. Okay? And sometimes even start a whole another family in the process. Sometimes at the same time. So we have these different kids from these different mothers, and that's a division. Okay? It can be a lot of little situations, but I'm bringing up all these situations because these are all the things that could or could not happen. Whether good situations or bad situations, they do happen. Then we have those, again, those aunts, uncles, and cousins and stuff like that or whatever. Now, in an ideal situation, we have our siblings and we want the children to get along. They're cousins, you know. So what we used to do is we used to go and visit our siblings with all the kids so they can, you know, be with their siblings. But here's what happened. In some situations that we have, sometimes you're dealing with single parents who can't afford to visit. If the family is all together and they're all basically in the same spot, good idea situation, good situation. But what happens when they're not in the same spot? What happens when the siblings are separated for whatever reasons? I know from experience that it's harder for a parent who is struggling or doing it by themselves to be a part of the family. So that creates a different kind of space, you know, some division there. And a lot of times it could be some misunderstandings when those people don't come around. Sometimes they're not even invited. Sometimes they're pushed away. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people don't talk about that. But there are situations where some of those family members are pushed away. And it could be because of their situation, because they're not around. They can't get around. And hey, some people are selfish today. They don't give a damn. They don't care about what you got and what you ain't got. They have theirs. And if you don't have it, oh well, must be something wrong with you. Let's be real. And God forbid you go through something, because they're quick to throw your ass away. Yeah, let's be real. Hey, what I've seen within this last, I'm gonna say 30 years. I'm gonna give it 30 years. What I've seen when it comes to families, black families in particular. I remember the grandmother, grandma and great grandma. If you were lucky, most of us were able to see our grandmothers and great grandmothers. So we knew, we knew our grandparents and stuff like that or whatever. Our grandparents were the ones who held it together somehow. And everybody was able to go back home, no matter what they've been through. Go back home, meet up at grandma's house and get that love. And meet up with your family and stuff like that. During the last 30 years specifically, especially during that crack age, boy, we've seen so much stuff happen. I mean, some evil stuff happening during that crack age. And just being able to see it happening and then live to see the after effects of it. Oh, baby. What gets me a lot and even more is how it was all planned, how it destroyed families purposely, on purpose. Ain't no more grandma, because when the crack came along, it wore their hearts out, broke their hearts to see their kids out there wasting money, doing stupid stuff, getting sent away to jail, stealing, causing harm on other people, just becoming a damn menace. Whew. I remember back then Folks had to lock their doors, hide the jewelry, lock up every damn thing, even lock themselves up in the rooms. Oh, I was there. I remember it. I've seen so many cases like that. As a matter of fact, a couple of friends of mine and I, we were talking about this just last week on how our grandparents used to be there. You always had a place to go. If you was out there on the streets, you can go home. You can take your little butt home, get you some love, and get a plate of food, something to clean up. You know, they still love you. They still care about you. Just can't trust you. Can't have you around. I mean, you know, there's no other real way to put it. So you can come around when a lot of people are there. You come through the front door, you know, because everybody's watching. Or sometimes you had to go through the back door. You come in, you take your shower, got a nice little plate waiting for you. But yeah, you got to go. We don't want you around here stealing and hurting folks and whatnot, or whatever, you know. So I remember that. But my main point in bringing that up is the love that was there. Just because a child goes a different way that is not so ideal, we might have to treat them a little different until they get it together, if they can get it together. But I might not be able to do that. And sometimes that can lead up to a broken heart. That mother. Ain't no mama gonna just throw her child away. You can know that right now. Now, as a parent, we ain't gonna throw you away. We love you. We're gonna pray our behinds out, especially the mothers. Oh, we gonna pray. It's our baby. Don't get it twisted. I don't care what they did or what they do. That's my baby. Know that. And I can guarantee you, I don't care what mother it is, what race she is, how old she is. Something happened to her child, she's going to be there. And she's going to do what it takes. A mother. Okay? So I don't care what they're going through. Again, that mama, oh yeah, she's going to be there for hers. She raised them. She carried them. She knows. Trust me. But now when that child breaks your heart, it's hard. It's hard. You have to deal with the separation. You have to deal with what they're doing. You don't know if they're coming home. You don't know if they're going to be okay because of their actions, because of what they've been doing. You don't know. I had a mother tell me one time, I got enough to worry about. I got my child, my daughter out there looking just like me, and I don't know if my child is going to come home. I don't know if I'm going to ever see my child alive because of what I hear. I have people, they tell me, this woman told me, she said, I have people calling me, telling me my daughter is being dragged out of a damn car while it's driving. She's fighting some man or men, or somebody's beating her ass. I was like, oh my God. Now that, just hearing her express those feelings, I cried. My child wasn't going through it, but I understood exactly where she was coming from because I am a mother myself. So it hurt me just to see another mother feeling like that. It hurts. And for a man to go through something like that, even to see his own son going through, probably on drugs or just not making the best of any kind of a situation for himself. For him to see his son out there, I don't know how that feels. I don't. But what I can tell you is I have seen and I've met some fathers who love their sons. And you best believe they're going to be there. And they hurt. Because that's their boy. So they're going to do whatever they can. And they're hurting bad. I've seen, even when a father is worried about his daughter, his baby girl is out there, and for some reason she's not doing all that well. Maybe because of some knucklehead that got into her head. Maybe because he's not treating her right. He's doing her wrong. No. But for a man to sit back and watch that kind of stuff, that's got to be painful. Now, most men ain't gonna play all that. Get with his, you mess with his daughter, you messing with him. And he gonna handle that real quick. I got a lot of respect for that. For the most part, a lot of us women, as little girls, our dads taught us how to protect ourselves from boys and men. Yeah, this is real true. This is why when that argument comes about, talking about women being manly or not too feminine and all that or whatever, and how they're being, they talking back, or they say they were being disrespectful or whatever, or aggressive. No, I might have to disagree with that. I don't think that's it at all. I think that's a very, very misconception of black women. I think a black woman has a right to be angry and upset. I think she has a right to express herself. And honey, when you are the one who nobody likes, who the world hates, they're coming at you hateful. They're showing their hate towards you. It could be your own. It don't matter. But a black woman is already not respected. So she has to be aggressive. She has to stand strong. She has no choice. What do you expect? She has to speak up. Nobody's listening to her already. So what do you expect? You can't call her no angry woman. And her dad is the one mainly who taught her how to protect herself. Because he knows. And her mama sure enough gonna be there. You damn right. We teach our daughters how to be respectful and how to basically stay away from certain things. Yeah, just, try to move on your way and be respectful as much as possible. Walk off if you can. Choose your battles. Those are things that I learned from my dad. And especially how to protect myself. Yes, of course. So yeah, I think there's a big misconception when it comes to women and how they're groomed by their parents, especially by their fathers. For the most part, we raise our girls to be respectful and how to cook and how to take care of children and take care of home and, be the girl. We just do. Now, family issues, again, come up when people decide they want to throw away a family member or some family members for whatever reason. Today, the structure of a family is not together in our black communities. We got to straighten that stuff out. We just do. Now we can sit here and we can say that we don't like these people because of whatever reasons. Whatever. But it doesn't mean that they don't need help and love and respect. If you're family, you should be able to get along and respect one another. But today that's not happening. We are so far away from that, it's not even funny. And no matter what the issue is, we just don't have it today. So a lot of times we go off and we have other people who become our family members and the ones that actually love us. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Go where you're accepted. Go where you're loved. Go where you're wanted. Now, when it comes to something that I've seen on the internet, I've seen some videos. I don't know how they pop up on my thing, but I see, especially young women, black girls, talking crazy about their mothers. What's wrong with y'all? What's going on? I don't understand that, honey. When you got issues with your mama, that means you got issues with yourself. You're struggling. And when you're struggling with those little issues, there's a lot of reasons why that could be going down. But let's talk about it from what's going on the inside of the household for a minute. When we're raising our children, something that is very obvious and we notice at a young age is that sometimes the kids try to play one parent against another. If the one parent says no, and they'll go to the other one, try to play them two against each other. And I think parents should never allow that at all. Not even a little bit. No. A child should know their place. First of all, your mother and father, that's a union. You don't touch that. You cannot interrupt that. And they should know that. No, you don't play me against your father. A wife should speak more like, you don't play me against my husband. And a husband should be like, you don't play me against my wife. Yeah, I'm talking about your child, your children. I'm so serious. The same way when, as a child, like, from that age of, 3 to 6 years old, when the child starts to have an attraction for the opposite, the parent of the opposite sex. For instance, the son will be heavily attracted to his mother. And the daughter heavily attracted to her dad, which can create a lot of problems because the son is going to want to take the son is going to want to take the wife from her husband, and then vice versa. The daughter take the husband from his wife. Does it make sense? No, but it happens. So you got to put them in check. Draw that line. You ain't crossing. You're not coming between me and my wife. You're not coming between me and my husband. And if you're separated, you're not coming between me and your mother or father. It's not going to happen. Okay? We're not doing that. We're not playing those games, no matter what happens. One, we both love you. And while you're trying to play us against each other, you want one of us to protect you while the other one is not. Here's the odd situation. What I found a girl. It was some video that came up on my timeline, and what I saw was a lot of girls out there talking badly about their mothers, and I'm like, what in the hell? What's wrong with you? Why is you going so hard against your mama, and you a woman? Something ain't right there. And when I started doing the research on it, it was kind of scary. That attraction that you have is, it's not an abnormal attraction. It's a normal one, but they should know the boundaries. Now, the love that you see your parents, that's a different love. That's their love. Now, you should want that one day, and you will have that. Because we're your model, so we're showing you exactly what you should have. Your marriage. This is what it should look like. Okay. But then we have those other situations where it could be some incest going on, where the father is having sexual activities with the daughter, and or trying to turn the daughter against the mother, so they can have the daughter and control over the daughter. In some cases, the daughter sometimes have to become the mother. Yeah, when the mother's gone, the daughter has to step up and take her mother's place. Now, whether we like it or not, it does happen. Oh, it happens. And it happens a whole lot more often than we think it does. As a matter of fact, stumbled across a lot of things during this research for a lot of my videos and content. Come across a lot of disturbing situations where we are seeing exactly that. Personally, I've met a lot of females, a great amount of females who have been touched by their dads. And I'm talking about biological dads. I'm going to talk a little bit more about stepfathers in a little bit. That's where my effect comes from. But there are some situations where fathers touching their daughters. That whole situation can create family issues as well, because now that child is getting attention, special attention, and other family members do not like that. One, because it's wrong. It ain't right. But the child don't really know or understand until it's pointed out to them. But again, that all of those things have to be sorted out in the home. So parts of these problems are always present. From my research, according to my research, a lot of the incestual relationships are closely related to poverty. And, well, a lot of the negative situations, or the more violent situations, or the most more unattractive situations, are with the more poor families. The richer families or the wealthier families are able to hide it a lot better. And so that's not to say that it doesn't exist in rich families, because it does. Oh, it does. It's just hidden a little better, that's all. In either situation, there's a lot of trauma associated, but when it comes to family issues, you got those family members that are pushed away, and for whatever reasons. There's a lot of things that I've already named so far, and we got to find some kind of a way how to deal with the trauma of it. And let me tell you something. It doesn't really matter who you are. There's a lot of guilt associated with those kinds of relationships. Those are forced relationships. They're not always ideal. But it happens, and there is a trauma associated with. We don't know if it's a lot of times. Sometimes it could be a good situation. When I say good or bad, good meaning that it's not violent and it's not real bad. Bad. Like I guess I'm gonna just have to say violent. Okay. Hopefully you understand what I mean by that. In a more better situation, the child is being treated very well. I can't even say very well. I'm gonna just say the opposite of the horrible treatment, meaning violent rapes, mental and physical torture. The good situation is if a father takes, well, a better situation of an incestual relationship between a father and a daughter biologically, would be that the father is treating the child better. He's not abusing her physically or just raping or whatever. It's kind of hard to get into that kind of situation. Just talking about it, it irritates my spirit in some kind of way. But I cannot forget that this world, that society was actually built off of incest. We don't have to believe it if we don't want to. You believe what you want to. But we have documentation that happens to date back as far as the beginning of time and the beginning of society. And from that alone, it lets us know that there were ancestral relationships. And I'm going to go so far as to say that I can believe that those relationships in the beginning probably were with the father treating the daughter very well, because that was the thing at the time. When all that stuff was banned and time started to change, that's when things started to get a little different. Start to realize some of the trauma associated with, which something that I want to talk about next. Sometimes in those situations, or most of the times in those situations, the child is able to suffer from so they have some mental issues later on in life. That is not a good situation, because that child's mental is destroyed now. Now the child is traumatized. So you got all those family issues going on. Now they're not being accepted because of the situation, or whatever the heck the situation may have been. But the main topic of this video is just diving in and talking about some family issues. Those family members that we just don't accept anymore. Or those ones that disappear on purpose for a reason. We got all those kind of situations. But here today we're dealing with problems and issues where family members are just not accepting family members, especially when somebody's going through something and they don't seem to come out on time or the way that other people want them to come out. Oh hell, yeah, you can hang it up. They're going to throw your ass away. And a lot of times it's your family that treats you, the ones that's closest to you, that treat you the worst. Now, do we see that happening today? Yes. We see families are just destroyed, specifically with the black family. We're not caring about one another. We're not nice to each other. We're not respectful. We don't even talk to each other. We just don't. So when it comes to seeing a family member struggle, you're more likely to see families pushing people away, good or bad. We know that the bad ones, yeah, they're probably not going to be accepted. But then there's some good ones too that are just thrown away. Now, When I say good ones, what I mean by that is, everybody, everybody's going to go through something. We all have to go through life, and we don't have control of it. We just don't. There's no control of life. As a matter of fact, you don't have a choice in the way your life goes. Sometimes life just happens. It just happens, regardless of what you had planned and what you had in mind. It just happens. There's nothing you can do about it. But deal with it as best as you can. And sometimes that can be difficult. But while you're dealing with that, those are some times when you really need love and you need acceptance. So when your family's pushing you away and throwing you away, then what? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to feel? The first thing that comes to mind, excuse me, is how much you've done for everybody else, especially your family, and the way that they've treated you as a result of what has happened to you, life. Sometimes it seemed like, damn, they was just waiting on that opportune time to hurry up and push your ass away. Now, it doesn't matter what people go through. We always need to treat people fairly and help them. I've seen people break their necks to help a whole stranger, and at the same time look at their own family member and leave them hanging. I mean, go all out their way. Everything. The shirt off their back, the steak, the bone, the potato, throwing an extra roll and a piece of cake and every damn thing else. When it comes to family members, you can get this water, bottle of water. It might not be cold, but yeah. I mean, harsh, real cold, real funky with it. And then people want to wonder why these folks don't come around. Maybe it has something to do with the way you were treating them. A lot of times, parents are the first ones to teach the other siblings how to treat the sibling. How to treat they determine how the sibling is going to be treated. Because, and I say this all the time, honey, how you treat your kids, that's how people would treat your kids. If they see you taking care of your kids, and you're especially guarding them and protecting them and all that stuff or whatever, and you're involved in everything, hey man, they're going to do the same thing. It's only respectful. Hey, this is what she does with her kids. This is how she treats her kids. So this is the way I'm going to treat her kids, because she told me how she treats her kids. So this is what I need to follow. You're right. At the same time, you can also not treat those kids well. Either way it goes, you're still telling people how to treat your kids, especially them siblings. So you always picking out on that one that you can't stand is getting on your nerves. A lot of times the siblings will see that and they'll do the same thing. They'll treat that sibling the same exact way that they saw the parents treating those kids or that child. So you can't really be surprised if they grow up and they start treating a certain sibling or siblings the way that the parents, was treating them. Now, here's something that's very important. It's actually happened to me. My mom, oh, whew, she was on me, and a lot of times for no damn reason. I wasn't a bad kid, but I got a real bad treatment. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my siblings, they saw how my mother was treating me. And as when I grew up, I started to see how they were treating me. And I was like, whoa, I'm already going through this with my mom. Why would I go through this with y'all? That doesn't make sense to me. But it happens. Because again, the parents teach everybody. The parents pretty much lay out a guide on how to treat their children. And that's whether you like it or not. It happens. Now, you can agree, you can disagree. It really doesn't matter to me. I know what I've seen and I know what I've experienced. Now, should this continue? And no, it shouldn't. However, I am not one who encourages. I'm not one who is quick to encourage uncomfortable relationships. I'm not going to do it. No. If someone that doesn't feel accepted, then by all means, I think you should stay your ass away. Just stay back. Just for what? Why are you going to go around and go through that kind of stuff? Why put yourself through that? If you're not accepted, you're not wanted, just go. Yes, it hurts. It hurts like hell, and it's going to take some tears. I can tell you that for a fact. But why continue going around people who do not like you? Like for real. They don't like you. They got some serious hate. You know, they really got some hate for you. Why you really playing? Now they might play, you know, that whole like thing or whatever while everybody else is around. Or at some events sometimes. But for the most part, honey, they will let you know and really be dead serious on letting you know how they really feel about you. And when you know that, that'll help you a lot better on how to move on. Just accept it. Push on. Again, yeah, it does hurt. But why would you want to be in the company of somebody who really does not love you? Why? For what, honey? No. Let that go and just push on. Should we be trying to heal families? Yes. Yes. I think the only way to heal our families and try to get them back together is it's going to take some time, number one. But I think it's going to take some careful planning. I think that it's going to take it's going to take a lot. One, trust has to be established again. You don't have to be all so close, but you know, when you get to a certain age, you start to see how this world really is. We have to learn loyalty again. We have to learn how to get along again. And that's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. There has to be some kind of genuine concern there. And there has to be some kind of support. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing to have fights and stuff. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a healthy thing. But if nobody's there to keep the peace, everything is quick to go down. If there's nobody there to help solve these things out, things can go all bad. So we have to take our time. We have to try to get back to love. And I think self-hatred is the biggest part. When we look at it, we're looking at parents who are raising children who today have to work so much. So that means that somebody else has to raise your kids. So you're sending them off to school to be raised, basically. So that means somebody else is in your child's ear. Let that sink in. What are they telling your kids? What is the music telling your kids? What are the streets telling your kids? What are some of these movies telling your kids? We spend so much time now, you got to work your behind off just to survive. Single people barely, hell, actually married people now are living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine that. I thought I was having it bad just doing it by myself as a single parent. And I was watching a video of this lady talking about, she said her and her husband, they make together combined, they have a combined income amount of $80,000 a year. She said they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're barely surviving. But the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you don't have enough time to spend at home with your kids and have a good part in raising them, and most of your time is spent away making money to provide, then you don't have all that time to invest in your kids as far as what they're thinking, educating them, keeping them in mind, letting them know that you care, showing them how to handle things, talking to them and helping them understand life in this world or whatever. So the parents are pretty much out of the home right now, which is contributing, I believe, a lot more to what our kids are going through today. It's basically like just pushing them out there on the streets as soon as they're at school age. That's what because you don't have that much time to come. By the time you put in a good day's work, your butt is tired. Some of us have jobs where we work in 12, 16 hours a day. Like for real. I can say 12, 16 hours a day. I can. Even though there's 24 hours in a day, there are still some of us who work our behinds off past 8 hours, on to 12 hours, and still continue to work even after that. And just happen to get a couple hours of sleep or minutes or whatever. So I want to conclude this video. These family issues are deep, and we're going to have to find some kind of way to try to either heal or find some kind of support outside of family for people. Because what we're seeing today is don't nobody give a damn. Ain't nobody left that really cares. Grandma gone. They gone. Grandpa gone. Ain't trying to. All that stuff is gone, especially in our families. Now, we do have some families who they still manage to keep it together or whatever. I applaud those families. I love them. And that's not to say that they don't go through things, because they do. They do. They go through all of us go through some things. Some of us are in a better place to help others. I mean, some of us we just selfish as hell, don't give a damn. I got mine, go get yours. That's that pick yourself up by the bootstrap attitude. I don't agree with it, but hey, to each his own. How you gonna survive this kind of stuff is very carefully. Honey, if you're in a situation where you don't have that family to go to, you don't have that kind of support, it's a hard thing to deal with. Now you're dealing with a whole lot of abandonment issues because you feel abandoned. You feel neglected and unaccepted. You're not wanted. And trust me, people do have those feelings, whether you like it or not. If you're going through something like this, my suggestion is, you know what? Push on. Find a way to push on. What I can say is there are other people who are more deserving of your love and who will care for you a lot more than those people can love you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have to push on, just push on, baby. You don't need to be dogged out and stumped on. If you sometimes we come across issues where we can't pull ourselves up. We need help. So if everybody backs down and everybody just has that boot ready to go ahead and kick you with it, then hey, what else can you do? One thing that I do know for a fact is God is a very loving God. I don't know how he does it, but for some reason there always seems to be someone else out there that's going to love you the way that you should be loved. Somebody else out there is going to be the one that's going to be that family to you. So don't trip out. You're going to be all right. Give it some time. Hey, there's going to be some tears. There's going to be some years. There's going to be some bitterness. There's going to be some anger. There's going to be a lot of that stuff. But know this. One day, all of that stuff is going to go away. It's not going to be quick. It's not going to, I don't even have a time frame for that stuff. All I can say that the bigger your heart is, that's probably, the bigger your heart is probably going to take a lot longer because you're so loving, so forgiving. And so wanting of attention and affection. So you just have to find a way to get through them tears and that time and that space that you don't have a choice about. Once they count you out and they stop accepting you and just pretty much push you away or whatever, just push you on out the way, you really don't have a choice. So yeah, you walk on. Like I said, them tears is going to come, they're going to fall, and it's going to be heavy a lot of times. And it's going to also force you to be a lot more careful about other people. So it might not be a whole bad thing. Maybe it's necessary so that you can harden that heart up just a little bit. Not be so loving and forgiving. Yeah. And then who knows what'll come in the future when people start going through things themselves. For some reason, they seem to all of a sudden want to understand what you're going through or what you was going through. Yeah, all of a sudden. Yeah, well, now they're going through it, so now all of a sudden they care. They want to be concerned. And this can come at a time when, honey, you've been over it. You've gotten over it. There's really, I'm pretty sure you still, you know, as family, so you got a certain level of concern. But for the most part, baby, where were you when I needed you? Where were you when I needed help? Did you go off and try to get some help? Was you coming around? Was you checking on me? Or were you just waiting for the next update? Or were you the one who was forming that whole army when I needed the help? A lot of things to think about. All of those things, whether we like it or not, They matter. They matter. When people start going through it, the things that they didn't understand, when they start losing family members, loved ones, then all of a sudden they want to try to understand you. What is there to understand, honey? You had the chance to understand. I even tried to tell you, but you decided to walk away. Now, I don't have that what I had before. I had to get used to what you did to me. I had to get used to the way that you were treating me. Now that I'm used to it, that's it. Don't expect me to come around and just be so loving anymore. I'll come around. I just don't want to be around you. I don't trust you anymore. I don't know you like that. I don't know what you've shown me is hatred. So you accept that. You made that bed. You the one who laid that bed. You made that bed, so now you have to lay in it. Is this something that I want? No, but this is what was forced upon me. So now I just have to do whatever I can. And most people who go through this, trust and believe me, they might want you to fail. And they waiting for that. Oh, trust me, they waiting for that. All of them got a phone call, they got on speed dial, waiting for any bad news that they can conjure up or talk about you. So, hey, let them talk. Let them talk. Let them do what they got to do. In the meantime, why don't you just go on and do what you got to do and just go on about your business. Your heart is pure. You have a good heart. You don't need to be in a situation where somebody's just stepping on it purposely and not even respectful of your heart or your feelings. Let them go. Let them go. There's no reason to sit around and argue about it or even have a discussion about it. You know damn well you don't like them folks. You know you don't like them, so stop playing games and just push on. Like for real. Why play games with that? And there are people who actually do that. And I think it's so wrong. Don't pretend like you care because somebody came to you and they're asking all these questions about, well, how come this person is suffering or whatever? I thought y'all supposed to be family. How come they suffering or whatever? So you bring your little ass around and you try to act like you care, knowing damn well you don't care. So in the whole process, you treating this person like shit. And it's supposed to be okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Every damn thing you do is messed up. It's wrong. And you need to straighten that stuff out. Ain't nobody telling you that you have to do anything, but you don't go and make things worse. Hell, state your claim right then and there. Hell, they're not around because I don't want them in my house. I don't want them around. Period. And that's that. Now, if you so concerned, why don't you take them into your house? In other words, stay your ass up out of family business. It ain't none of your business. Now, see, this is what a lot of people don't understand. See, there's always two sides to a story. Yeah, that family members that screw up, and yes, they're gone. And yes, everybody was pushing them away. But why? Why? See, a lot of us forget about that kind of stuff too. See, we're so quick to blame people and place judgment on people, but we forget what caused all this stuff. Oh, I said it. And I mean it. Yeah, we need to get that together. Take you and your little hurt feelings or whatever and try to heal that. Because if you don't, and you continue with that hatred, it's very easy for you to pass that along with your own kids and within your own family. Oh, you don't have to listen to me. Let it wait till they grow up. They'll show you. You'll see it for yourself. Because, see, you're teaching them how to hate. This is what you model in front of them. So this is what they're going to do. You see, if you sit up there and you gossip around about people, what you think your kids gonna do? They're gonna talk about them too, and most likely have the same damn opinions about that person that you had or that whoever had, because that's the kind of conversation that they feel. That's the kind of environment. Everybody's talking about how much they don't like, or that one person is coming together and forming an alliance against the one they don't like. So they go around and poison the whole damn family and everybody they can, so they keep them talking and gather up and gang up on that one family member. Damn, they already gone. Now what? So you don't want to help them. So now you don't want nobody else to help them. So now you want to make sure that they don't have no place to go. So foul. And God forbid they need help. Any kind of help. A shower. A plate of food. A little money. A ride. Forget about all that. Just forget about all that. Because once somebody got some little funky ass attitude, they're going to push all that. They're going to make sure that if you ain't got it, they're going to make sure that you ain't going to get it. Now, you can believe it if you want to, but most of you hearing this message, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll understand it from where it's supposed to come. You don't want nobody, the worst thing that you can have is somebody come around and mistreat you or half-ass treat you. Oh, they'll give you a plate of food. What pieces, what scraps they decide they want to throw to you. You ever had somebody come around and try to help you, but half-ass help? Come on now. You're gonna give somebody a plate of food. That should be the first place that is made. Let's be real. That should be the best meal that there is. If you call yourself helping somebody, you should make sure that plate is good. Give them a good plate. That's what you call love. Damn what you going through. You stuck your little narrow ass out there to help. So when you help, if you're going to do it all the way. Don't half-ass do anything. Don't half-ass help anybody. Don't take your little raggedy self out there and get some scraps and go call yourself, go get it together and go give it to somebody. What is wrong with you? That's some evil crap. Why would you do something like that? Maybe that's something that you'd have to do. You have to take care of yourself. And I'm talking to those ones they're so quick to throw people away, have something to say, and then half-ass try to help somebody. Do you want to know what it's like to have to feel like you got to beg somebody to help you? Are you kidding me? I got to beg you to help? I don't want your help. I don't want your help. I'm good, boo. Now do you? I don't need all that. As a matter, that's got to be one of the most disrespectful things you can do. If you don't want to help, just don't. Just don't. You really don't have to have a reason. You don't. And I don't care who comes to you. You can just be real and say, look here. I control my stuff. I help who I want to help. I'm not going to go out there and break my neck because you come along. Yeah, open up your door. You do it. Show business. But stay out of mine. Instead, what we have today is we have people coming along and they're putting their 2 cents in on stuff that they ain't got nothing to do. Nothing to do with. Nothing. As a matter of fact, they only have an opinion because they have something negative to talk about to keep the attention off of their ass. Oh, I'm lying? Tell me where the lie at. Look here, I done got myself all worked up talking about this. I'm so tired of being one affected personally and other people coming to me telling me how hurt they are in their stories. Baby, I have a heart and I care. Now, I don't want nobody around me that's trying to cause harm, and I can understand, if somebody's trying to cause, where somebody's just dangerous, just dangerous, and they're being pushed away because of that. Because they're just dangerous everywhere they go. They just cause trouble. I get it. It hurts. It hurts. And then we out here to see the amount of black women suffering right now and the hatred that's out there for black women right now. That's a lot. It's a lot. Honey, we are being attacked from every damn angle, and it's been going on for a while. This has been going on for a very, very long time. Honey, if you're a black woman, especially today, is more likely to go through attacks right there in broad daylight and not get any kind of help. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Child, I even heard of I was watching one of my fellow YouTubers, and he was talking about this new Ebony alert. I'm going to touch on it for a minute because I'm a little concerned about it. I don't like it. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. Why the hell? We already have an Amber Alert. Why do you need an Ebony Alert? I understand you want to name it to make sure that it aims at black kids, but that's not a good thing. It ain't good. An Ebony Alert? That sounds more like a nigga alert to me, if you ask me. Hey, I'm going to call it like it is, baby. It sounds like to me that anytime a siren goes off about a black child missing, no, I'm not feeling it. Number one, we know for a fact that everybody's looking for organs. There's organ harvesting. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And in black children, black families, there's rich people out there looking for that. Yes, I said it. Now you can do your research and you can find out for yourself, but I do not believe in, understand, and I will not accept this Ebony Alert ordeal. I don't like it. There's no respect for black lives. Let's just be real. There is no respect for black lives. So why do we need a damn alert for a missing black child called an Ebony Alert? Yeah, let's think about that. No, it ain't cool. I'm a mother and I'm speaking on it. I said it and I mean it. All alerts for any missing child or person should be equal. It shouldn't be no separation or no division. Should there be some attention on it? Heck yes. Because a lot of our black men, women, and children are being killed and come up missing every single day, and nobody gives a damn. And that's real. So should there be alert? Yes, but it should be equal for everyone. That means that I don't care who's missing. It should be a picture and a description where they come from. Period. No separation. No. But at the same time, we just have to be more careful. Now, And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be real to you because I really want you to understand this. I don't have a problem with it being called an Amber Alert, because I know that even though Amber was probably a white girl who it was named after, at least I know that she'll get, at least that Amber Alert will put the attention on the person, and not just whether that person is accepted or rejected socially by society. And whether we want to believe it or not, it happens every single day that a black woman is coming up missing and nobody gives a damn. This is what makes me go so hard when trying to create this space for support of our black women and children. I go hard. I'm not playing. I care. I care about people who look like me. I care. I have a heart for that. There are some people out there that just don't. They have so much self-hatred that they don't have that kind of love. And yes, that does exist. I don't care how much they try to hide it, it shows up like a sore thumb. Shows up like a red flag. You know when people genuinely care and when people genuinely don't care. It's not really that easy to spot, but surely in time will reveal. You best believe that. Until next time, family, peace.